and arrived here to make this event successful as well as beautiful. I am glad to meet your president, a very dynamic lady who also hails from the town where I am born and raised, Kanpur, Srimati Saroj Katiyarji. I also had the privilege of meeting her virtually some time back in one of your events. And I am happy that today I am here with you all in a much bigger group. This is an all India level 16th Triennial Conference which is being organized today in the very, very important city, Varanasi, which is the constituency, the parliamentary constituency of none other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Varanasi, which is also important for me because I started my political journey from Varanasi. The first time I reached the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly was from here, from Varanasi, Rohania. This was the beginning of my political career in 2012. So this place is very dear to me, very valuable to me. And today it holds a special significance for every Indian because our Prime Minister comes from here. I don't know how many of you remember when he first came to Varanasi because he hails from Gujarat and he was then the serving Chief Minister of Gujarat. When he said, I haven't come to Varanasi. मैं आया नहीं हूँ, मुझे माँ गंगा ने बुलाया है. And since the time he got elected as the Member of Parliament from Varanasi, went on to become the most popular Prime Ministers of India, and the second time in 2019, my party is also a part of this government. So it's been a beautiful journey. And today it's a great moment for me to be addressing you all. I should say a galaxy of beautiful women, not just beautiful, strong women, empowered women and enlightened women in this very, very important place, Varanasi. So thank you very much for inviting me here. And I want to convey my best wishes for the success of this event. I do hope this conference is able to achieve the objectives for which it has been held, it has been organized. Today we talk of, I read your theme, it's Stronger Women, Stronger World. And today it's across the globe, every nation, every society. Everybody is talking about empowered women because we have a lot to contribute. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has given us a dream of self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat cannot be thought of. This dream cannot be realized without the contribution of women. Which is why my government always emphasizes not on women's development, but on women-led development. Wherein women take the lead. They take the lead, not just to transform their own lives, but also the society, and then the nation, and then the world. That is the kind of change, that is the kind of transformation we want to see. And this is the reason why once the NDA government took over under the able leadership of our Prime Minister, we gave a series of schemes from different ministries across Government of India, which were focused at bringing about a change in the lives of women. I have several examples. Ujjwala was one of them, wherein we distributed gas connections to women coming from poor households. And crores of such connections have been provided to women across the country. The poor women who really need to have, they deserve clean fuel and better life. This was the government which showed its commitment towards building hundreds of crores of toilets across the country to keep up the dignity of women, especially those coming from the economically backward sections of the society. Women from the poor households, women living in the remote regions of the country, women living in the remote areas of the country, women living in the far-flung areas of the country. Crores of toilets were constructed across the country in these 8-9 years of our governance. Ujjwala is one example. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, under which toilets were built, is another example. You've also seen the way we have focused on empowering women by creating more and more self-help groups. Now you go to villages, you will find a lot of rural women who have become self-dependent because of becoming a part of a self-help group. There are so many other schemes which were aimed at transforming the lives of women. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. This is not just a slogan for us. This is something that we believe in. It is our commitment to the nation. We want to change perceptions. We want to change the way the society thinks about women and a girl child. And we want India to be a nation where a girl child is valued. Her education and her quality of life is given tremendous importance. Housing was one of our schemes for crores of people across the country. And the best thing that we did in the interest of women was when we built houses under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for millions of Indians. The ownership of that houses built under this scheme rests with the woman member of the household. So it is the woman who is the owner of those houses which are being built by the Government of India. The Startup India scheme, the Stand Up India scheme, and so many other such schemes. The Maternity Benefit Act of 2017, the Poshan Abhiyan, and above everything, a gender-sensitive education curriculum in the new national education policy that we have come up with. Everything is aimed towards the common objective. Sankalp is also one such program which is being run by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, wherein we give special focus to skill development, skill training among the women workforce. Pradhan Mantri Matra Vandan Yojana or Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matrit Abhiyan, there are n number of such schemes. Now, what was the impact of all these schemes which Government of India brought about? I will give you an example of one of the impact of such women-centric schemes which were run by the government. Lately in Uttar Pradesh, we've had elections. And you all must be watching TV debates, reading newspaper articles. What were they talking about? A lot of things. But one such important idea which was discussed across media, across TV channel debates, newspaper articles was the turnout, voter turnout. Women came out in large numbers and voted for the government. Women played an instrumental role in voting this NDA government back to power. So when we sat down to analyze what could be the reason for women coming out in large numbers and voting for this government was eventually the schemes which were pro-women, which brought a change in their lives, because today, even as a woman, as a leader, I believe that you cannot undermine the relevance of women voters. Women voters are also quite aware, and not just aware, they're aspirational. So they also make an assessment of how the leadership, how the government thinks about them, how much value the government gives to women voters. And when they made a positive assessment of the various schemes which were focused towards their better growth, they came to the conclusion that yes, this is a government which needs to be voted back to power, which can assure them their safety, their security, a good education, health, and many such programs which will bring a change in the quality of life of women in our nation, in our state lead. So this was politically, if I see, a big impact which was created. This Women's Day, 8th of March, your organization must also be celebrating this very, very important day. Worldwide is celebrated. All of us must be going somewhere, some place or the other, sharing our thoughts, our ideas, opinions on the significance of International Women's Day. Why do we still need it? And many of you should know that this year on International Women's Day, a special ceremony was organized in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Women excelling in different fields from all over India, they were invited and they were awarded. And these awards were conferred on them by none other than the Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind ji, and these awards were the Nari Shakti Puraskar for this year. What is the need for Nari Shakti Puraskar? Why do we need? The idea is not only to encourage women who, despite all challenges and all the hurdles that came their way, have been successful in their respective fields of interest, whichever they chose. We want to present these role models to the society, to the nation, to crores of women across the country, that here you have somebody who's like you, who's also a woman and has been able to make her mark despite the many challenges and hurdles which must have come her way. And these women are real role models. I remember one of them comes from Varanasi. She's a writer who comes from this place, who was given this Nari Shakti Puraskar in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. There is so much that women can achieve. And if they come together, then the amount of synergy that can be created, it is beyond anybody's imagination. This is not just something which we women believe. This is something today which Government of India also believes, all of us believe. There is nothing that we cannot achieve. But to achieve any and everything, the only thing that we need is to believe in our own self. And we should be the first person to believe in our own self before anybody else gives us that confidence. That is the spirit which we must lead our lives with. You look at the last expansion of the Government of India which took place. I'm talking about the cabinet expansions. I think the much talked about aspect of the ministerial cabinet expansion was the induction of so many women members within the Council of Ministers. So this is how our government thinks must be able to contribute meaningfully and fruitfully to nation building also, which is why in the last cabinet induction, so many of the women members were given an important role. They're serving in different ministries. That is another example you must pay heed to. Another thing I want to say, I have come here earlier also. There are several such platforms I have been going. One thing I always repeat, that any change in the society can come when it begins from our own families. When we change, the whole society changes. So whatever we imagine or whatever our idea of a good, ideal society for women is, we must first be able to implement that idea within our own family setups. Unless we do that, the society is not going to change, because it is you and me who make the society. It is nobody else. So each one of us has to change if we want a larger change. And each one of us has to change our own self, our own families, and then advocate the same to those around us, those who interact with us, those who come in touch with us. So we must practice what we preach. This is the most important thing. Unless we do that, we as women will not be able to have a world which is fair and just to the fairer sex, as we call ourselves. तो आज के इस अवसर पर मैं आप सभी को सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहती हूं कि स्वयं को बदलने के साथ साथ अपने परिवार को बदलना और अपने आसपास के परिवेश को बदलना, ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात होती है। और जब तक हम स्वयं में परिवर्तन नहीं लाएंगे, तब तक हम समाज को नहीं बदल सकते। मैं हर गर्ल चाइल्ड को भी यही कहती हूं और हर महिला को भी यही कहती हूं कि आपको समाज से स्नेह, सम्मान, प्रोत्साहन सब कुछ मिलेगा, लेकिन पहले आप स्वयं अपने आप को देना सीखेंगे तब। आप स्वयं अपने अस्तित्व से प्रेम नहीं करेंगे, आप स्वयं अपना सम्मान नहीं करेंगे, आपको अपनी क्षमताओं पर यदि स्वयं यकीन नहीं होगा, तो बाहर की दुनिया से इसकी उम्मीद रखना भी पूरी तरह गलत है। Every woman has to believe in herself. और महिला की सफलता के पीछे क्या है? There are so many quotes which we all read about what is behind a successful woman. Somebody says there's a man behind a successful woman. Somebody says there's something else behind a successful woman. I would say behind every successful woman is the immense hardships, challenges, insults, ridicules, everything that she goes through to be where she is. And behind every successful woman is also a tremendous force of those who love her, who support her, who encourage her, who stand by her and who believe in her the way she does in herself. तो अपने आप में यकीन करना, खुद पर यकीन करना, खुद को पसंद करना, खुद को प्रेम करना, ये हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत है। और जब तक अपने आप को स्वीकार नहीं करेंगे, स्वयं से प्रेम नहीं करेंगे, खुद में विश्वास नहीं करेंगे, अपना सम्मान नहीं करेंगे, तो हम एम्पावर्ड वुमन तो नहीं हो सकते। इसका ध्यान रखना बहुत जरूरी है हम सारे लोगों को, क्योंकि हम सब महिलाएं हैं और हर महिला की अपनी एक कहानी होती है। एवरी वुमन हैज अ स्टोरी। शी मे शेयर इट, शी मे नॉट शेयर इट, बट ऑल ऑफ अस have our individual story which has all flavors, sweet and sour, good and bad, everything. So if we are somewhere, it is because we believed in ourselves more than anybody else. That is the most important thing. ये बात हम में से सबको हमेशा याद रखनी चाहिए। अपने आसपास भी हमेशा जो भी महिलाएं हैं उनको आप हमेशा यही समझाइए, यही बताइए। और मैं कई बार ये भी सुनती हूं, मुझे सुनने में बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगता है। A lot of times I hear महिलाएं ही महिलाओं का अलग अलग शब्द होते हैं। Now, whenever somebody says that, you have to give them a befitting reply. Just say, gone are the days. Gone are the days. अब महिलाएं इतना समाज में हर क्षेत्र में आगे आ चुकी है कि ये कहावत पुरुषों पर कितनी लागू होती है ये भी हम देख चुके हैं अपनी आंखों से। So gone are the days when you would tell us something like this. Today, every woman is another woman's strength. That is the change I have felt as a woman. So please stop buying this nonsense at all. किसी जमाने में ऐसी बातें होती थी, आज वो जमाना बदल चुका है। अब ऐसी बातों को आपको सिरे से खारिज कर देना चाहिए। That is the most befitting reply you can give. आज हर महिला एक दूसरी महिला की ताकत है, उसकी शक्ति है। और सबसे बड़ी बात जो हमें हमेशा याद रखनी है, as women, we must not be judgmental about other women. That is the biggest mistake we can ever make. We have to drop this idea absolutely of being judgmental about any other one, because like I said before, each one of us has a special story. So let's not judge. Let's protect, let's promote, let's unite, and let's grow together and conquer the world. Thank you very much.
Shrimati Anupriya Patel ji, you have indeed refreshed and re-energized all of us. Wow, what an orator you are. Your spontaneous, extempore oratical skills are cherished by every member present in the auditorium today. And those who have not come will miss your talk today. And I really like the way you have encouraged women to believe in themselves. And this has really kindled a spark in our members and guests present to serve society more and to serve it better. We have indeed been enlightened by your motivational address. Ladies and two gentlemen sitting here, please rise to give Anupriya ji a standing ovation. Thank you so much for your gracious presence.